13 and Matthew 24.
It's about the wheat harvest.
Yeah.
This
Now
also
what is-
in the Revelation say the field is ripe,
Yeah, yeah.
ready
yeah.
to harvest.
Yeah.
When you speak that, so it's like coincide to what
Revelation?
Yeshua. Yeah, I have
No, it's a vine press there. Vine press, if it is a vine press, it is also the season
of the grapes.
of the judgment of the nations.
At the same time, the judgment of the nation.
Because the vine grapes, it is as at Sukkot,
Yeah.
you see? And then in this case, it represents the judgment of the nation. We will come into the vine press and will be squeezed.
Yeah.
You see? That's very interesting. We need to go step by step because it's very, very difficult to accept another scenario. And
What was the parable with the vineyard there?
huh?
The parable of the vineyard.
Which parable?
Yeshua.
Yeah. He say will be taken from you because they killed the one who has been sent.
Sent, yeah.
After that, he sent the son, and they killed the son also, which is already past.
Yeah.
But we think this kingdom will be taken from you, given to another. To whom it was given when it was taken from the Jew? To Rome.
Yeah, after.
Yeah, he has been given to Rome. In 135, it was finished with Jerusalem. No more. No more. You see, this is why it is very interesting that now what is more interesting is what we know today. We know today that the Jerusalem which exists today is pagan.
Yeah.
Because it's not here David. It's not the city of David.
Yeah.
It is a pagan city full of idolatry,
Merchandising.
you see. So
Different culture.
this city will be destroyed. Will be destroyed. You see. But the Jerusalem which emerged out of it is the city of David, where the true place of the temple is, which is some hundreds meter
From the Temple Mount.
from the place today,
To-
what they call the Temple Mount. You see, that is very, very interesting.
So it's no more there.
No,
It's
this
empty.
city is pagan at its core, full of idolatry, of immorality,
Oh, yeah.
of lies. You see,
That's why this
That's
needed a
very
cleansing
interesting.
on this
That is very
place.
interesting. That's very interesting, and we need to consider all these things when we look at the scenario for the end time, because we need to understand that we need to not to make a,
Doctrine.
ready food to take, no, that's his doctrines. But
We try to understand. We don't make any doctrine here. We don't
I
want to
believe,
fix
personally,
our
I
understanding
believe,
until
that
the.
one part of Daniel is not revealed fully today. If we look in the book of Daniel, I will try to find quickly. I want to look something which is very interesting. So because I want to speak about that because every time I look at something concerning the end time scenario, and the majority of people quote the book of Daniel and try to match it with the book of Revelation to prove that this story will take place sometime now in the future. Okay, but let's look. So Daniel has spoken about different things, about beasts, about kingdoms, about a very hard time which happened. But he said at the end of the book, he says something like so. He was speaking with the messenger of Elohim, and he said, "Go thy way, Daniel, for the world are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified, and many white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate set up, shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waits and comes to the 1,305 and 30 days, but you shall go thy way till the end, for you shall rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days." Now, I will not speak about the 1,305 and 30 days. I will not speak of that. This is another story which I believe is already fulfilled. Not that many, but I believe it is already fulfilled. But I speak about the verse 10 and the verse 9 when he says, "Go thy way, Daniel, for the word are closed up and sealed till the time of the end." You see, that is what is interesting to me. So, could it be possible that this time, that the scenario which happened before match with the book of Revelation concerning A, the destruction of the temple, B, the destruction in 70 CE by Titus, the son of Vespasian, B, the destruction of Jerusalem completely by Hadrian with the revolt from Bar Kokhba, then we have a period of silence until the end time we are living now, where he say, during this time, this period of time, he say, many shall be purified and made white and tried. Many, throughout the generation, till the last day. We are now living in the last hour. This is really the time. So you see, this is a different interpretation. And myself, the more I think about that, the more I believe that the book of Revelation has already been fulfilled.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't mean that I believe that nothing more remains, but I believe that it's already fulfilled. I will show you something. Okay? Just wait. I think of Revelation and I will explain something also, because I don't want that there is confusion. So this book of Revelation is honestly very difficult to understand. Only if we want to make a ready food doctrine, but if we want to do
Fast food.
fast food. If we want to do it in a way which is possible, we see that there is different steps. You see, every time we read a chapter, we see, after these things, I saw another messenger, chapter 18, after these things. You see, when I go to the chapter 19, and after these things, I heard a great voice of much people in heaven. You see, there is different pictures which are coming to the mind of Yohanan. And I believe that the end scenario, the 1920, this is the end time. This is the end time. When we see the New Jerusalem coming down from heaven, which we have spoken, New Jerusalem coming down from heaven is not stones, a city of stones coming down and falling on the head of the people. The New Jerusalem are the people of Elohim, are the Kedoshim, the saints, who are coming together as a bride. This is what we see here, and we have to understand. You see, after these things, I heard a great voice of much people in heaven saying, Hallelujah! Salvation and glory and honor and power and true Jehovah our Elohim. You see, he heard the voice in heaven. But in chapter 21, he said, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. He referring to the book of Yeshayahu. But new heaven, we know it is not new heaven, renewed heaven and renewed earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, Yohanan, saw the Kadosh city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Elohim out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So this new heaven, this New Jerusalem, coming out down from heaven, is not a city of stones, but this is the representation of people, the people of Elohim. Yes, we are prepared like a bride. Yeah. You see, he said in verse 9, and there came unto me one of the seven messengers, which had the seven vials full of the seven last plague, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. Yeah. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, show me that great city, the Kadosh Jerusalem. You see, once again, great city equal the Kadosh, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from Elohim. Great city. One is spiritual, one is physical, but it's always called great city. Once again, having the esteem or the glory of Elohim, and her light was likened to a stone more precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. And now he comes and he described the Kadosh city, but don't forget, this is not a city like we imagine. This is a living city, a people which represent the city. This is now an esoteric, a mystical approach of this last scenario. Now,
This is what is said, the manifestation of the Jerusalem is a manifestation of the people.
yeah,
So,
Jerusalem represents the people.
the people, yeah.
Yes, Jerusalem represents the people. But of course, it represents also the city.
The natural, yeah.
In the Peshat, in the literal level, it represents the city. But in the spiritual, it represents also the people. Okay, this is why Paul say the Jerusalem from above is free.
It's free, yeah.
That's not the city. In the heaven there is no stone or city of stones.
Because it's talking about the
people.
people now, with
The
the
people of
chief, the
Elohim.
daughters of the, who's his name there? From the Egyptian, and the first one, and then from Sarai. The bondwoman and the
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hagar.
Hagar,
Hagar is, he say, Paul say, this is now, when he speak about Hagar and Sarah, he's speaking, he say, it is a midrash. He doesn't say that Hagar is a slave, but she represents, she's a representation of something. Like Sarah is a representation of something. Okay? And we have to understand, this is why we cannot conclude that this book is for us to come.
come. Maybe the
Because if we want to have the scenario of the last days, we need to go back to Matthew 24 and not to go to the... In Matthew 24, he said Yeshua speak about this. And this chapter is separate in different place. First of all, he speak about the destruction of Jerusalem. This is the first place. When he said, and Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came for to show him the building of the temple. And Yeshua said unto them, see you not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. You know? So that is the first thing he said to his disciple. So the temple was fully destroyed. He said, no one stone upon another. Finished. And we know that Jerusalem has been fully destroyed in 135 AD by Hadrian. So now you say, it goes on. Many shall come in my name, I am Messiah, and shall deceive many. And he goes, he give, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, shall be famine, pestilence, earthquake in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So then shall deliver you up to to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and shall be hated of you nation for my name. Of all nations for my name's sake. We know that the disciples have suffered many hard things.
yeah.
Okay, so, and then shall many be offended, shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall arise, and so on and so on. It goes on. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. You see? And the kingdom shall be preached, he say, in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. You see, that is the sign. This is when the gospel, the good news has been spoken throughout the world, then the end will come. That is here. Then he say, when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, the prophet, stand in the Kadosh place, whoso readers let him understand, then let them which be in Yehuda flee into the mountain, let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything but out of this place, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. Woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck into the day. But pray you that your fly be not in the winter, neither on the Shabbat day, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world, to this time nor ever shall be. Except those days shall be shortened, they shall not flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, he is Messiah, they will believe in him. So this happened already in 70 CE during the destruction of the temple. This does not mean that it will not happen again, because I believe it will happen again when Jehovah will draw all nations surrounding Jerusalem, surrounding Israel against Jerusalem, to judge them under the approval of the United Nations. This will be the judgment, the final judgment. So I believe there is two timing. One which was just after the departure from Yeshua, which happened in 70 CE and 135 CE or the AD, and one which will be in the end of this to rebuild Jerusalem. So we see it's not so easy to make a time frame and to tell story, but we can conclude with this one. I personally do not believe that if we interpret the book of Revelation or any other book, we cannot replace the saying with other city than Jerusalem.
Yeah.
It is not Rome, it is not about any other city, it is about Jerusalem. This does not mean that Rome is not involved, okay, as we have explained, but it deals with Jerusalem first.